Hey everybody, welcome back to New Stuff TV, the untechnical tech channel. I'm your host, Antoine. It's Showtime Richardson because today we're checking out a brand new TV. Well, wait a minute. It's not really brand new. It kind of is, but it's not brand new because I already told you about it, man. A few weeks back, I went to the Hisense event in New York and we checked out a bunch of TVs, man. Well, Hisense was kind enough to send over a couple of them. They sent over the U8, which we're gonna be talking about today, and the U7, which we'll talk about in a week or so. Now, today's video is gonna be more about first impressions because I haven't really had that much time to spend with it just yet, but nobody needs to spend a lot of time with this TV to understand that it is ultra bright. We're talking luminous and stinking colorful. Look at the colors, just doing, wow, that's just, man, okay, it's bright. Okay, that's what I really wanted to talk about. It is bright, and that's the first thing you're gonna notice when you actually turn it on. But since you got all that power, all that light coming at you, it actually has something built in, which I appreciate on all TVs. Not all TVs do it well. This one really does. It's the ambient light sensor. I got this thing in a well-lit room right now. I got 4 of these can lights going at full brightness. I got a window on the left, window on the right. It's full daytime. And it's letting the TV, the ambient light sensor, it's letting the TV do its thing and be ultra bright because it's competing with all the light in here. But as soon as I dim these lights, this thing is gonna react immediately, tone down that brightness and allow my eyes to just kind of continue to enjoy the viewing experience instead of me doing this. I wanted to talk about that because I don't feel like that's something that people talk about a lot. And it's a feature that I think should be on every TV, and it should be like optimized to work really well because that can really be a jarring experience when you get into your content watching. But when you're harnessing all of that light in a TV panel, you got to have some detailed settings, man. And that's something else I can appreciate about this TV is that it does have detailed settings that you can get into and can control your brightness and your darkness and contrast and everything in between, and also have a cinematic experience. And that's when we get into watching things like sports versus movies versus gaming and stuff like that. All the detailed settings are there so you can actually just kind of basically customize every piece of content or viewing experience you would want to have at any given time. And on the fly, because it does also have what I would call a quick menu or quick settings button. So if you hit this little menu button on the bottom left-hand corner of the remote, you'll see it pop up there at the bottom of the screen. You get to watch your content while you're manipulating all this stuff. You can go into your different modes here. You see I'm on sports right now. Then I can just toggle through energy saving, theater day, theater night, filmmaker mode, filmmaker mode. That's what you get into when you're like a content snob, like I am. I'm kind of a content snob. I like my stuff to be cinematic, bro. But then I'm gonna put this back on sports, man, because you know, it's got that nice bright setting. It also has like a vivid, I think, or standard, that's what it is. Or is it? Yeah, we do have a vivid, but sports is a little bit better. Except for when you get the TV right out of the box. It's on vivid, and let me tell you, it's just too much, man. Tone that mess down. And you should never watch movies. Maybe cartoons in vivid, in sports. In sports, you're definitely going to have to put it in sports to get that, you know, high refresh rate and everything and the vivid bright colors. But you do want to go in and fine tune things in some of the deeper settings because sometimes the default modes might not be exactly like, you know, each individual person would like. So go into those detail settings and see if you can tweak it to what you would like. But also in these quick settings, man, you can go to your HDMI outputs and stuff like that, your sleep timer, which should always be on a quick setting. Dude, I fall asleep watching TV all the time. Then the thing I do not like is that, okay, I see Dolby Atmos there, I see all this stuff. You can go in and edit, right? So wait a minute, let me go back here. So you can go in and edit and you can turn stuff on or off to show up inside of the quick settings menu, but I don't see a way, let me see if I do this on camera. No, I don't see a way that I can actually move them to where I would want them to be. Like, let's say I would want my brightness to be at the beginning of the menu. If I press and hold it, I don't see a way that I could actually move that to the left so I can put it at the beginning of the menu. So it's always going to be where it is. You'll have to go down the line and look for it because like I would want my sleep timer in the beginning. I'm saying that now because Hisense, if you're watching, man, do an update so we can get this stuff to be customizable. Like you've done everything else in this TV. Let's get some customization there, man. That would be great to have in this quick settings menu. Now I did mention watching sports and watching movies, and that's where motion comes into play. And that's something else that this TV does really well is motion. It can go all the way from watching sports. I'm talking about people moving fast, doing fast stuff and keeping up with it without dropping frames because it's got a high refresh rate capability, but it also kind of tone it down a notch so you can get into that cinematic filmmaker mode. And that's pretty much where I hang out most of the time because I'm a movie guy. I like watching movies and I like watching shows and I like that real true motion kind of effect that the filmmaker mode gives you. And you can just toggle in between the two really easily. But that's when we're getting into watching dark scenes as well, because since I'm a movie guy, dude, have y'all been watching House of the Dragon? Seriously. That show has got me. I wish that I would have waited to watch it so I could just binge it all in a weekend. I've digressed. Anyways, the show can be pretty dark sometimes when you're watching stuff like, I don't know, John Wick or, a show that has a lot of dark scenes. This thing really does well with those dark scenes, especially when you get in there and start tweaking the settings. Now, remember, I haven't had this TV that long, so I haven't tweaked it perfectly. But from what I've done so far, just surface level stuff, you have the capability to do it. And the TV can handle it pretty well, especially on House of the Dragon. We've actually watched, we watched it this past Sunday. So how many days was that ago? Let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, yeah, about 3 days, okay? So we watched it like 3 days ago, and the TV performed really well with House of the Dragon. So if you're a fan like I am of House of the Dragon, this can be your House of the Dragon TV. It'll do it. Just like most other TVs coming out in 2024, this one is also powered by Google TV, and it runs really smooth on this TV with the occasional button press lag. What is that, you ask? It's basically when you press a button, like the quick settings menu on the TV, and you press it, and it takes like a second or two to catch on. I've experienced it maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 times, okay? It's not that big of a deal, but I have experienced it, and I definitely want to share that with you. So since I got the remote in my hand, wow, this remote is damn near perfection, okay? First of all, I like the fact that it's oversized compared to a lot of remotes that are coming out today, man. I actually like that because it's not that I have these big gigantic hands, it's just that you ain't gonna lose this bad boy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a silver color. I really like this remote. It's got everything you need on here, including 6 shortcut buttons, but there's only 5 shortcuts. The 6th one is for you, me. So I've actually programmed mine for Peacock. Dude, you can program this thing for any of your content apps you want. I got mine programmed to Peacock because right now we're enjoying the Olympics. I don't know if you've seen my background, bruh, but we are doing the Olympics up in this house every night. So yeah, man, you can program that to, dude, that's clutch. I haven't seen that before. I wish all manufacturers would do that with the remotes, is have a customizable set or at least one customizable button. That is freaking huge, Hisense. Give me some. Yeah, I like that right there. But the remote, it lights up. All the buttons are pronounced to where you can actually like see and feel where they are, and that customizable like shortcut button, that I'm gonna hang out there because that's something that needs to be talked about because other companies need to catch on. Now, I'll admit, in the short time I've had this TV, I haven't had much time to game, and that's my fault because I don't have my life together, and I feel bad about it that I just can't sit here and game all day anymore like I used to. I need to get my affairs in order. But I did game a little bit just so I can see what it was like before I talk to you guys. So check this out, man. We got this game bar, man. You hit the menu button, it pops up, boom. You see that right there? FPS 119 frames per second, HDR, VRR, ALLM. You know what that means? That means no latency while you're gaming. All right, and then we got this dark detail. So if you turn it on, right, it kind of brightens the screen a little bit. And that way you can actually see the enemies hiding in the corner. If you're playing Last of Us, you can see them dang nastiness, the little creatures. Anyways, you can see them. I'm gonna turn that off because sometimes I like the element of surprise. You can adjust your brightness here. Then you got your crosshairs on and off, and your game guide, which kind of tells you what you're getting into as far as all these different features that it has. But then you can get into other settings, which is something I want to talk about because I don't even understand it. Look. Game console controller, okay? So that's basically when you hit the menu button, it automatically brings up the game bar instead of the actual TV quick menu. So I got that turned on because I'm gaming right now. But wait, let's go back. It disappeared. And then we will look into this AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. Boom. If I hit that, I notice things get just a little brighter, a little sharper. I don't know what that feature actually does. Man, I'm gonna have to get it. I'm gonna have to look this up, man. But if you're a gamer, this seems like the TV for you. It's got the high refresh rate mode. Dude, we got first person shooter viewing. Oh, wow. We got a lot of stuff here. Okay, yeah, this TV's for gamers. I need to do some more gaming. Like, I gotta talk to my wife and tell her that I need to game more so I can be more effective at my job, which is talking to you guys about how well you can game on these TVs. You think she'll buy that crap? But let's get into the last thing I want to talk about. It's the last thing I want to talk about, but it was actually one of the first things I noticed that really impressed me when I turned on the TV. I already talked about how bright the TV was. Once I got that adjusted, I actually started watching some content, and the next big thing that blew me away was the sound. Absolutely phenomenal sound coming from a TV, to the point where I thought I actually had my home theater system hooked up, and I did not. It was like I was hearing actual bass, like thump and bass, clean sound that was actually being projected from left to right. It was coming from what I would say around the room, and that's because this is the 65-inch model, so it does have some width to it, right? But the speakers are positioned well, I guess, and they just, I don't know, they're tuned well to project the sound. But the most impressive thing was this thing actually has a freaking subwoofer in it, and you can actually hear and feel the thump from the subwoofer. I don't know how such a thin TV has a subwoofer in. I don't know what kind of tricks you're doing in there, Hisense. I don't know, I don't understand, but I'm here for it. I really like it. The sound on this TV is absolutely incredible. You can hook up a sound bar to it. You can hook up an AVR with home theater surround sound speakers if you want to. It's perfectly capable of that. But in a scene where you do not have room for a sound bar, or you might not even have it in your budget after buying this TV, which is a great price, by the way. Check the most recent prices in the description of this video. But if you don't have a sound bar or like a sound system to go with it, don't even worry about it, bro. Just crank it up. It's got some sound settings you can go play with. I don't really think you need to mess with them. Voices come in super clear, and the mid-tones are right. It's not like this hollow-y sound that you get out of a lot of TVs. Dude, the sound is like, it is top-notch. And that freaking bass. They putting subwoofers in TVs now, Hisense? That's how you doing it? I see you. I see you. You got your shortcut button that's customizable on the remote that lights up. That's clutch. Then you threw a subwoofer in there for me? Oh, Hisense, you killing it, man. Hey, look, I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but what I do know is I have enjoyed my short time with this TV. I'm gonna get to know it a little bit better before I move on to the U7. Well, I got to do a first impressions of the U7, so we'll get that done later on this week. And then I'm going to spend some more time, you know what I'm saying? Tweaking some settings and maybe, giving you some tips and tricks on how to use this bad boy, because it's beautiful right out of the box after you tone down some of that brightness. That's the U8, baby. That's all right, man. Look, y'all keep being good to each other, and I'll see you when I see you.